Hi everyone, this is Ziglag Fitness. This is our next installment of our video on strength and conditioning, rehab and performance. Today we are talking about how to increase the depth of the squat. Many of us have got hip restriction issues. That's why you can't get into a deeper squat. So we're going to show you some ways to mobilize the hip to deepen your squat. So the first thing you gotta do is some soft tissue work on your hip rotators in the butt. So just by sitting on the tennis ball like what Jun Xian is doing, he is rolling out the deep rotators in his butt to improve the tension, to reduce the tension in his butt. Okay. And after that, right, he can also use the tennis ball to roll the front of the hip, or use a foam roller to work on his hip flexors. Just in this position, so he's just working on the left of his hip. Alright, so you can see he's rolling all the way from the hip down to the knee, and he can bend his leg just to improve the reduction in the tension. Okay, all this is done so that we can improve the internal and external rotation of the hip. So Jun Xian will show you what I mean by internal and external rotation. Okay, because before you do anything, you gotta test this out, right? You gotta test out your hip internal and external rotation. So you see how you do the test is just by first, external rotation is to turn your leg inwards, should be around 45 degrees, and for internal rotation, which is the other way, should be around about 40 to 45 degrees. And if you have any restrictions in any internal external rotation, is going to affect how your squat can go to the depth that you desire. Okay, so after the foam rolling to reduce the tension, next we will do stretching to improve the length of the tissue. Okay, so the first thing that we always do is the hip flexor stretch. So this is one against the wall, which I've shown in the previous videos. Alright, you can just hold this stretch for about 5 minutes on both legs, okay, on both sides. So you thrust your hips forward, you'll be able to open up the hip flexor. Alright, the next stretch of course is your hamstring stretch, but I think there are many versions of hamstring stretch. So the next one I will show you is the piriformis stretch to increase the stretch of the external rotators. So you can do this, which is the pigeon stretch, we call this. So, but you only can do this after the hip flexion, after the hip flexor stretch, because you might feel an impingement in the front if you do this first. Okay. So the final one that we will do is the hip internal external rotation stretch, which is just pushing in your right leg down. This is to stretch the right internal rotators, and you hold it there for about 4 to 5 minutes as well. And then of course the other side we will do it for about 4 to 5 minutes as well. Okay, so these are some simple strategies to increase the depth of your squat. Thank you very much for watching this video on how to increase the depth of your squat. Thank you very much.